Angle of trend is one of the aspects of a profitable trader. If you are trading with a trend line, you need to measure the angle of trend, the angle at which you are drawing your trend line. If your trend line is above 45 degrees, then know that that particular trade will not last. You will not hold the trade longer. The lower the angle of trend, the better success you have. Now, when you are drawing a trend line, after drawing a trend line, make sure that you measure the angle of trend. Do you understand? So the angle of trend determines how profitable that particular trade will be, or how long you will remain in the market. Like as I said, any angle of trend that is above 45 degree is more of a spark in the market, and it will not guarantee a successful trade. Now on my screen now, let me show you what I mean, how to measure angle of trend to know how profitable that particular trade you are making is. All right, now let's join these 2 points on my screen. Now let's use these 2 points, this particular point and this particular point, to draw a trend line. Now after drawing the trend line, we measure the angle of trend. Like as I said before, any angle of trend that is more than 45 degrees, it will not hold long before changing the trend. Now the lower the angle of trend, the better trade you have. All right, this is how to draw a trend line and measure the angle of trend. Now let's join these 2 lines. Let's join these 2 points. So you draw a trend line. All right, this is a trend line. You use these 2 points to draw the trend line. These are the 2 points we need to draw the trend line. This particular point and this particular point. So these are the 2 points we use to draw this particular trend line, and your entry should be at the third touch of the trend line. The third touch on the trend line is your entry. So this is a particular point you need to do make your entry where the market touches the trend line. So subsequent touches of the trend line also guarantees your entry. So this is another opportunity for you to make your this point here where the market touches the trend line again is a second opportunity for you to do make your entry and record your profits. Now as you proceed, now you see that the market does not, you only have 2 entry opportunity before the market breaks the trend line. So as you can see, at this point the market breaks that particular trend line. You have only 2 entry. You made only 2 entry before the market breaks that particular trend line. Do you understand? So this particular trend line does not last longer. So let's measure the angle of trend. Like as I said, whenever you draw a trend line, always measure the angle of trend. If the angle of trend is more than 45 degrees, that particular trade will not last longer. Do you understand? All right. Lower the angle of trend. If you draw a trend line and you measure the angle of trend and it is about 20 degree or 30 degree or 15 degree, 18 degree, the greater chance of making a lot of profit. All right, so on my screen now, let's measure the angle of this particular trend line. This is how to measure the angle of this particular trend line. You click on your screen. So at this point, click on your screen, then you click at this point here. Look at this point. Click this point here. So you click on the point. Now this is a particular sign here. This particular sign here, that is what you use to measure the angle of trend. Do you understand? So you click on it. So place it at that first point, then you draw it. Are you seeing it? So this is this angle, this trend line is at angle 56.2 degree. Do you understand? Are you seeing it? Pay attention at this point. This is where it is displayed. This is where the angle is displayed. Pay attention at this point here. You will see angle that displays there. All right, you see angle that is displayed there. So this is it. Are you seeing it? This is what 57. Now let me draw it so that, so this is a 56 points. Okay, 56.4 degree. So this trend line is trending at 56.7 degree. Do you understand? Like as I said, any angle of trend that is above 45 degree will not last longer. Do you understand? So whenever you draw your trend line and you measure the angle of trend and you see that it is more than 45 degree, you will not stay long in the market and go out. All right, now let's join these 2 points. Let's draw a trend line with these 2 points here, with these two lower high, with these 2 points. Let's draw a trend line with these two particular points, and we measure the angle of trend. So after measuring the angle of trend, we now see how long their particular trend line will last on the market. All right, so we click on the screen, click on this point, click on this. So first of all, let's draw the trend line. Let's draw the trend line. Let's draw the trend line first of all. All right. So here is what the trend line. This is what the trend line. We use these two particular points. We use these two particular points to establish this trend line. This is the first point and this is the second point. Now where the market touches this trend line at the top time should be our what entry. But first of all, let's measure the angle of trend of this particular trend, the angle of trend. So we click on your screen, click on this, position it to where, then position it, then draw your, okay, let's get another trend line here. Let's take another angle of trend measurements, put it here, you draw it. So as you can see, this is a 14.7 degree, 14.7 degree. So this is the point where the angle of trend is displayed. Look at this point here, you will see angle that is displayed there. So this is 14.3 degree. So this particular trend line will last longer. You have a lot of entries on this particular trend line. So let's see how the trend line works. Now this is the first point here. This is the point we use to establish this trend line. We use this point here and we use this point here to establish this trend line. So let's watch and see how many entry opportunity this particular trend will give us. Now this particular trend, because it is lower, it will guarantee a lot of profit. So this is the first entry here. This is our first entry. Here is what our first entry. So you make your entry at this point, and this is what a huge profit. So we proceed. That is first entry. Understand? Wherever the market touches, wherever the candlestick touches this trend line, your what entries. So this is another entry. Here is the first, here is second entry, here is the third entry, here is what the fourth entry. As you can see, all of them are giving you huge profit. So we proceed. So as you can see, this particular trend line serves more than that first particular trend line because the angle of trend is lower. You understand? So whenever you are using a trend line, always measure the angle of trend. If it is above 45 degree, it's more of a spark. It will not last. This works on every time frame and at all markets. Do you understand? All right. So don't forget, this is Optimal FX, where profitable strategies are shared. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button, share the video, let others benefit, and enjoy their trade.